What's up, Internet? Welcome back to the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Blade Showcase, and today we're going to be looking at the very first paid DLC blade, Poppibuster. Now, unfortunately, she's not a Poppy in the sense that you can access Poppy Swap and change around her abilities, but the kit that she does come with is quite strong, and the nice thing about her is that you're able to bond her with every single driver that's not Tora without the use of an overdrive protocol. So the first thing I want to point out with Poppibuster is the fact that, just like how Telos came out of nowhere to become the best great axe in the entire game, Poppibuster does the exact same thing for the shieldhammer class. Every problem that I've ever had with the shieldhammers, whether it's their slow abilities or their inability to hold onto aggro unless they have passives that do just that for them, it's completely patched up with Poppibuster, and we're going to get into that when we look at the passives. The main thing that you'll notice about Poppibuster, the first thing that you'll see, is that she is one of the few light elements available in the game. One of the good things about this is that, like with fire, water, and darkness, you can actually stack onto the same element of light over and over again to create your orbs, and that also coincides very well with people that want to play with blade combo bursts. The other cool thing about this that sets her apart from all the other shieldhammers is that she has access to 3 aux core slots. I'm currently running a Dilaton ship, so at S rank she'll have 843 auto attack damage. With the block rate up, you get yourself the 69% block rates, and then with Ultimate Shield, we have a 50% chance to completely give ourselves the damage immunity. Now, for the third slot, it's just a very good luxury to have, and that's really what sets her apart. I'm going to be running with a Blade Combo Boost, because for today's demonstration, I'm actually going to pair her up with KOS-MOS and Mithra, and we're going to build our Blade combos from there. Other suggestions might be special level 4+, because one of her passives does synergize quite nicely with this one. I'll get into that later though. Anything that increases aggro or increases aggro from your arts or your specials is very welcome on this, but also feel free to experiment with things like Affinity Max Attack, and if you just want to stack more damage, it's really up to you as the player. Her blade arts are pretty much what you would expect to find in any good tank. Recharge boost helps you sort of get more things to gain aggro, not to mention that she does have auto attack speed increases from her passives. Draw aggro is pretty self-explanatory, and nullify reaction can be quite useful in fights like Cloudsea King Ken. So, when it comes to the actual passives in question, we got ourselves some really nice stuff. Hyper Affinity Circuit is probably going to be one of the more notorious ones for unlocking. This is very tricky. You need to get 70 heart-to-heart viewed. Now, a bit of advice that I'll give to you guys right now is that what I personally did is I just combed the map for every single heart-to-heart that I could find, and then I went to New Game Plus and then did some more over again. As long as you do the heart-to-hearts after you get the Poppibuster in this playthrough, then they will carry over to New Game Plus, so keep that in mind. So it's really nice that you don't have to go, move heaven and earth just to get this Affinity Circuit. The next one is Hardware Acceleration. This increases your auto attack speed by 25% and your art speed by 20%. These two passives coincide quite nicely with each other because you want to be able to have your arts be charged up as quickly as possible. The more affinity you have, the more damage you'll do, and then you're able to reach that much faster with Hardware Acceleration. It's fairly easy to do. And there's finally Reconstitutes. This is a very interesting passive. It's a little bit similar to Cressitus, I believe, where you do extra damage from doing a level 4, but the difference here is that the damage ceiling is that much higher. So every time you do this to a maximum of 1000%, you will get increased damage for this ability. And I believe that even with no increased damage, you'll actually do more damage under the correct conditions than your level 3 combo. Before I actually get into that though, let's go for the level 1. Buster Cyclone, increase your aggro drawn. This is very nice because it's an AoE, so it hits a bunch of people, and it helps keep all the focus of all the enemies onto you. Very good overall. Next one is Buster Cannon. It's a single hit. It's a frontal AoE, so everyone that's in front of you will get hit by this 100% guard annulling attack. The damage is pretty decent, but it only hits once. It's actually very similar to Herald's. And finally, the Buster Mirage. This is pretty good, but unfortunately, it is a bit outclassed by level 4. And again, it's not that hard to gain affinity with Poppibuster, especially if you're at S rank. But essentially, what this is just a bunch of hits and bonus damage for enemies that are fighting you. So if you're doing your job as the tank, then this is just free damage. But again, a little bit outclassed by level 4 specials. Seriously, it's really good, and I'll show you guys that pretty soon, actually, after this demonstration. So the thing I want to look at too is the accessories. I'm actually currently running with the hammer attachment because more damage is always a good thing, and in following with that line is high-tech eye patch. We're going to be canceling a lot, and the auto attack speed is really really, really good. So you're going to be seeing plenty of damage boosts. And also, I'm currently using Poppibuster on Mirage just due to the fact that it's a shield hammer that has the ability to topple and do bonus damage on toppled enemies. Not to mention, she also has an AoE aggro boost attack, so that's always helpful. Nano Metal Gauntlet, I want to get to my level 4 specials as soon as possible, so this is pretty much what I'm going to be running with. Finally, the one thing I want to see is this one. This is the pouch setup, Astrology Made Simple, Chargrilled Gumbird. Nothing new, but again, for those of you guys that have not seen many of my videos before, I just want more damage for my specials and then more recharge for my arts, and that's going to be on all of the characters in my party. So we're going to go ahead and fight against Cloud Sea King Ken. This is going to be a very quick fight. The general gist of what we're going to be doing here is generating aggro is quite easy to do with a shield hammer. It's just that, again, it's very slow, but because we are using this this little neat passive, it's not going to be that difficult. I've also given Nia a beta scope, so if ever comes time to get a break, I can easily capitalize on that, and if my topple fails, then Rex can just go ahead and follow that up with Mithra. The name of the game here is just to stack up all of our abilities, and getting our Affinity to max shouldn't be that difficult either. The only time you should have trouble with Affinity is when you're fighting against enemies that, you know, they take away your Affinity boosts, but thankfully that's not the case with Cloud Sea King Ken. Okay, so start things off with a KOS-MOS heal for the entire party. I'm not going to be using any chain attacks for this fight because, honestly, we don't need to. Okay, so now all I'm going to do here is just try to maintain my aggro as best as I can, and then cancel for the Supernova. This is pretty good, and we're going to get extra damage with the Blade combo because it's going to be a fusion combo with the break that we got midway through this combo. Here we go. The damage doesn't seem like much, and unfortunately it's a little bit difficult to see the damage that Cloud Sea King can, considering how high up he is, but the damage will start increasing exponentially every single time, an additional 350% every time. Okay, so there goes that topple, and that's going to be the break Supernova. As soon as I can cancel this, I'm going to get the damage boost from my high-tech eye patch and the damage bonus for 58k damage. Alright, I'm saying damage way too many times, I apologize. Now, the other funny thing too is that you can just like break your topples by doing this, cancel out all of your attacks with a single move. Sorry, you cancel out your auto attacks, so you're constantly recharging your abilities. Or another thing you can do is that since it's already pretty fast to begin with, you can just do the first 3 hits, cancel, and go straight into another one. But before I do that though, I'm going to quickly get my Affinity boosted over here. Stench is kind of unfortunate, but unfortunately this guy does not come with a debuff cancel. Here we go. This is quite lengthy, but like I said earlier, the damage difference is noticeably higher. Even though we have the conditions clear to do a level 3 special, it does not do as much damage. And because, you know, this is going to be the damage we'll be seeing the entire time, we won't be seeing improvements even with S ranks. Alright, so basically what I'm talking about here when it comes to the auto attack cancels with your walk is that you do the combo. Look how fast this is, by the way. 2, then 3, then cancel, then you just continue it relentlessly. It's very good, and that was one of the main issues that I had with the shield hammers, is that it's quite sluggish, and that's why I was a little disappointed that Akos also borrows that same moveset. But again, everything is patched up with the beauty of Poppibuster. This is a very cool passive, and honestly, this level 4 special is definitely one of the best in the biz. I've also heard, I haven't really tested it myself, but I've also heard that the Nia Pyra special actually causes the game to crash. Unfortunately, I've never had to test that out, but I've certainly heard a lot of reports. So yes, it should take about 4 blade combos to completely annihilate Cloud Sea King Ken. And of course we could just go ahead and do a chain attack, but we see that so many times here on the channel that I'd rather spare you guys. Okay, so now he has a blowdown, but I don't mind that too much because again, we have Ultimate Shield Aux Core. And if I was closer to Poppibuster, then I could have gotten a Nullify Reaction. The Nullify Reaction would have prevented me from getting the blowdown, and I can just be free to continue on my shenanigans. So here we go again. Just start off with your Vajra Blow, and then cancel that into a Mountain Crusher. The nice thing about having the Chargrilled Gumbird on all of your characters is the fact that by the time one person's done with their combo, you can go ahead and do yours. So we're quickly speeding our way to all this. And now the damage for my level 4 combo should be max. So you know what, we go ahead and get ourselves a topple and do this for some 64k damage, and this should be the finisher. Even if this combo does not kill, the blade combo damage, or the fusion combo damage rather, definitely will. Here we go. Alright, and this should be the pop. Here we go. And just like that, as soon as these stars finish falling, we finally got ourselves one dead Cloud Sea King Ken. Now, one of the things I wanted to talk about for this particular blade is it was a little bit disappointing that there was no Poppy swap, but honestly though, I'd rather have the onus be on the developers to make the OP builds, because we've seen so many, we've already seen Poppy QT Pie and the stuff that she's capable of, and there does, like, ironically, despite the fact that there is a lot of customization available for Poppy, there's only really so many builds that you can do, and I'm really glad we get to see a bunch of used stuff. One of the other things I wanted to mention is the really steep requirements, not just for Poppibuster, but also for Telos. The requirements for actually completing these charts are noticeably more challenging. I believe for this one, especially for Poppibuster, you have to beat Immovable Gonzalez, which is going to be difficult for some people, but I guess it's the developer's way of trying to form the distinction between players that have been playing this game for a very long time, such as myself, versus people that have recently bought the game and also had recently paid for DLC. They didn't want to be paid to win too quickly, so that's exactly what we're seeing here right now. Alright, so I got the Gamma Ray. I might as well just cycle through all my abilities since I know that the Chargrilled Grumbird is going to make me really fast. So look how fast all these arts are, too. Now, we should get a topple partway through. Hopefully, Rex will follow up with the Anchor Shots when this Supernova is finished, so here we go. Really, the only drawback to this level 4 special is the fact that it's quite lengthy in terms of its animation time. It's, yeah, it does take quite a while, but again, the damage kind of makes up for it. The main draw for this ability, too... Oh, here we go, this is a topple Supernova. No. Oh, it could have been. One of the drawbacks to this, or sorry, one of the playstyles that they had in mind is the kind of players that like to fight against the super bosses through just spamming their arts and combos. And really, most of the time, that playstyle involves saving up your invincibility cooldowns, whether that's going to be saving up Chain Gauge or level 4 specials, and honestly, we might as well reward you for doing that. Look at all that damage immunity that we got just now. Very, very nice RNG. And I'm kind of waiting for a break to happen. If not... Okay, there's a Lethal Harpoon. Oh, and the break happens right when I press A, of course. That's one of the funny things about having the Ether Cannons. Really, whenever you're playing with a bunch of Ether Cannons, like Herald and Azami, for example, I might recommend that you switch out the Blade Combo boost for something along the lines of an aggro boost, since, again, like the aggro is really, really tough to keep when you have a bunch of Ether Cannons spamming away. Okay, let's get this topple now. And I don't think we'll get the... Yeah, it's alright. So again, that's just kind of what the cycle is. I have a KOS-MOS and a Mithra on my team. I'm going to let KOS-MOS do the second stage because I know it's a full heal for everyone. Also because we haven't seen KOS-MOS in a while because we've been so busy with this Telos nonsense from the previous video. And will I get myself a Nullifier reaction this time? Unfortunately, no. Thankfully, the damage isn't nearly that bad. And now it's just the laborious task of going all the way back. Here we go. So again, just wait for the level 4 to happen. Look how fast these animations are, though. Like, it doesn't even take that long. It's very, very nice. Here we go. Honestly, it's going to take maybe like 4 casts this time around. One of the other issues, actually, it's more of a personal thing than anything else, if I may go on a tangent here. The reason why I don't like the level 3 special as much either is that if you're doing this final stage of the Blade combo, there's this really creepy moments where, like, Poppy has her deadpan eyes and she's kind of like emerging from a man's body. It's really, really unsettling. You know what, how about I show it to you guys? I'd rather show than tell. So, okay, so I'll have Rex start things off with a Photon. And now, have the Gamma Ray, and I guess we'll just, hopefully this will also be a kill. I'll show you what I mean, it's really unsettling. Like, I think maybe some people are okay with it, but man, like, I saw it, and it's like there's the slow-mo that goes on, just look at this. It's like, it's really, I don't know, wow. And then she pops out and runs towards the screen, it's... But yes, let's see, you see the damage that we have over here, it's not even close to the level of damage that we get from the level 4, which is unfortunate because it's a very good passive overall. The passive of having yourself the, what's it called? The increased damage against people that are targeting you, because it gives players incentive to actually, actually do their jobs of being a decent tank. Okay, I don't know if we can get a topple of this one. Okay, good. Okay, we got ourselves a topple. And I should have just done this attack instead. I should have cancelled it out, but oh well, it's only a slight damage difference. And then we're going to finish things off with the infamous level 4. This is a very, very powerful level 4 combo, and honestly, like, one of the main benefits of spamming this is, again, the increased damage and the invincibility throughout. So if you get tagged with a Murder Ray Doom, or with a Ultra Annihilation Flare from Kuridil, or even like a Barrier Fields or Phallic Buster from Orifice Ophion, Not to mention that this is also a light type, and Artifice Ophion is weak to light, so yeah, I'd say that this is one of the better choices for fighting against Ophion. And also, fighting Ophion is the Dilaton chip, so it's really up to you whether or not you want to fight him first or not. But yes, that pretty much does it for Poppibuster. Very good overall. A very challenging affinity chart. Probably one of the more challenging ones. Like Ursula, she's more boring and brain dead, but this one you really do have to work at it, especially with those overkills. Like even for me myself, I have a setup that lets me do overkills very reliably, like once per minute. But the fact that you have to do it like 20 times, no, not even 20 times, like 51 times, I believe. 51 overkills, that's 51 minutes, that's down the drain that I'll never get back in my life, but I'd say it's pretty much worth it. So guys, thanks very, very much for joining me on the first paid DLC Blade Showcase, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. We might actually do some more videos for the new update that had recently come out. So until then, happy hunting, and hopefully you guys will have a good time filling out your affinity charts. Good luck, you guys, it's totally worth it.